It wasn't bad, guys. It was a train wreck. And today, you are going to get a front row seat as for the first time in the history of my channel, I have to sit here and detail failure. And it all started so well for the Junior Springboks against Australia in Gqeberha, or Port Elizabeth, as it is still called on the N2. The young South Africans displayed strong ball-carrying ability. Batu Hlekani and Captain Riley Norton particularly impressed me in the opening minutes. And then you'll remember we complained about the lineouts against Argentina in the first match. Well, it didn't take long here for us to win a lineout, maul and drive our way over for the opening try. Hola Nyali, the man of the moment.
Player in 2023.
Fly half Vusi Moyo with the conversion, 7-0.
Has the extra two. Just about the perfect start.
Okay, now we weren't perfect in the lineouts. Some wayward throwing didn't help. And then the Aussies were on top for a large period. I'd say we were the better team in the opening 15 or so minutes. But after that, it was all Australia. We held our own well. The Junior Boks defended as we'd like to see them defend. And eventually, we were able to score against the run of play, admittedly. This time it was Siya Ndlozi, who is a dangerous runner with some serious gas.
I didn't think anyone was going to catch him, and that's what happened.
A beautiful try is scored, Moyo converts, and it's 14-0. It would become 17-0, but now, interestingly, after the 40-minute mark in the first half, we won a penalty. It certainly appeared to my eyes that Moyo was going to kick for posts. The referee appeared to make the appropriate signal. Or did he? Because then, bizarrely, it was a kick for touch. Okay, whatever. And wouldn't you just know it? Line out, maul, try. Hola Nyali again. But wait. Turns out Simphiwe Ngobese was in front of Nyali, so the try was ruled out. Pity. But it was still 17-0 at the break. Would 22 or 24-0 have changed the outcome? I'd like to say yes. I'd like to say we would have been so far out of sight that Australia could have mounted any comeback of their choice and we would have been too far ahead. But what followed was a meltdown of epic proportions, unfortunately. So firstly, let's give credit to the Wallabies. Coming into this one, I was concerned about their scrum. But I have to say, I don't think we were bested at scrum time. Both their locks are very good. Joe Mangelsdorf and Captain Eamon Doyle impressed me in their first match against New Zealand, and both men were again very good against the South Africans. Sid Harvey is a dangerous player in the backline and could be a real star for Australia in the future. 2027 Rugby World Cup, perhaps? They also clearly have great skills and are an accomplished unit in attack. That said, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. South Africa made 11 changes from the win over Los Pumitas. Australia made 7 changes from their draw against the Kiwis. But whatever it was, the Aussies just simply outsmarted us at every turn in the second half. Now, it didn't help that we didn't play particularly well in that second 40 either. The South Africans, quite frankly, were nowhere. Our defense went AWOL in that second half. Far too many missed tackles. At times, and I hate to say this, but it looked as if some of the boys had given up. There appeared to be no fight or grit or determination. We completely fell apart in that second 40. I don't think Norton's leadership was what it could have been during that period either, which is a shame because I thought he was having an otherwise good game and I was impressed by him in the first match against Argentina too. And if I'm honest, as I sit here, I quite like Norton. I think he's a good player. But I think he let himself down in that second half against the Aussies. There also seemed to be aimless kicking. Really, more than one runner chasing some of those kicks. And then suddenly, after 78 minutes, something finally happened. Gqeberha scored for us.
It comes out the back for Gqeberha. Ball is down. They are not done.
Kyle Smith converted to make it 29-24, which is how it ended. So at least we picked up a losing bonus point. But I'm sorry to say it, that scoreline flatters South Africa. There's no way Australia were only 5 points better than our juniors. I think if we had to give our boys 5 out of 10 for that performance, there would be many who would say we are being generous. It was dismal. Now, the only positive here is that we're not out of it. If we can beat New Zealand on Sunday, and I know that right now, as we sit here, that is a huge if. But if we can beat the Baby Blacks, and the Argentines beat or draw against the Aussies, then we can still win the Rugby Championship. And yes, I know that's a huge ask right now. And you're probably looking at your screen right now and saying, Pete, did you take your pills this morning? Have you gone nuts? Did you see what happened yesterday? Let me say this. I thought there was a lot to like about us in the opening match against Argentina. And it has to be said, we were actually solid in the first half against Australia, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. So if Coach Kevin Foote can find the magic between the opening match and the first 40 against Australia, then I think we've got a chance. Again, don't forget that Foote made 11 changes for this match. So in that sense, he has now seen his full squad in action and will know what his best matchday squad should look like.
To work with here. And Cheswell Ewster bouncing off men. Beautiful inside ball. Hashim Peed has his second, and all of a sudden this stadium has found its voice. They were very subdued at halftime.
And I know you might say, but Pete, did you see what the Baby Blacks did to Argentina? How can you even think we stand a chance? This is why. Both those sides also made household changes, or wholesale changes, I beg your pardon. 9 changes, both of them. Argentina and New Zealand, they both made 9 changes for that match. So in other words, it was effectively 2 B teams playing against each other. So that tells us something rather startling about Argentina's depth. Truth be told, we learned nothing from that match. What is it, 75-24, I think it was. We learned nothing because effectively 2 B teams were playing each other. It's like, do you remember in the 1995 Rugby World Cup when the All Blacks beat Japan 145-17 and everyone, well not everyone, but a lot of people lost their minds?
Oh, magnificent.
Just park the bus right there. That was New Zealand's B team against admittedly a very weak Japan. We learned nothing from that match. Jonah Lomu didn't play, Andrew Mertens didn't play, etc., etc. So we learned nothing from that match, and quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, we didn't learn anything from New Zealand's win over Argentina in this Under-20 Rugby Championship in Port Elizabeth, or Gqeberha, as it is not known on the N2.
Try eventually awarded by George Myers. That's just a hammer blow for Argentina.
I would instead look at what the Baby Blacks did in their opening match against Australia. That is more of what I am expecting us to come up against.
Out the back, but they might rescue it still to stretch the score. Brilliant work from Liam Grover.
And if we are more like we were against Argentina, then I foresee a competitive match. I think, given the hype now around those Kiwis, they start Sunday's match as the favourites. We cannot deny that. But you know what? I'm going to use another 1995 reference here. The semi-final, when Jonah Lomu ran all over England and we won an arm wrestle against France. Everyone thought it was all over. Now, I'm also perfectly aware that this is not 1995, but I'm just saying I don't think it's a case of good night nurse just yet. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, why not help me out with a super thanks? That's the heart button with a $sign inside of it. You'll be able to make a highlighted comment. I promise to reply to it. I'll also hit the love button on your comment. Further to that, you'll be able to make a small donation of your choice to my channel. It's whatever you want it to be. 10 Rand, 100 Rand, 100 million Rand. If you're Whitey Basson, Christo Visser, or Koos Becker, then come on, do the right thing. Now, the reason I'm looking for your support, guys, is because I would love to do this full time. I'd also love to go to Australia in 2027 and cover the Rugby World Cup for you from down under with daily content. So if you're on board with this idea and you want to support me, go on and smash that super thanks button. Or if you're not yet ready to support me in that manner, you can also just crock roll the like button, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And since we're detailing failure here, I think we all need some cheering up. So why not go check out this video over here? It's a full replay of the 2023 Rugby World Cup final press conference where Jock Nienaber and Siya Kolisi talk about that glorious win over the All Blacks to secure our 4th Webb Ellis Cup triumph. And I'll speak to you next time.